We just received huge breaking news. It's official. Nebraska will play in the Las Vegas Bowl in Las Vegas, Nevada against the Big 12. 10-2 Utah Utes on New Year's Eve. So in today's video, I'm going to give you my instant reaction to the bowl game itself, the location, the opponent. How do we win? How do we lose? Is this even a good matchup for the Big Red? Where do we go from here? And everything else you need to know. So really quick, this is a loaded reaction video. If you're excited about this bowl game, I know I am. Hit that like button. And also for daily updates talking Nebraska and the trends portal, Nebraska recruiting, Nebraska and coaching carousel. If you want to stay in tune with Huskers this offseason, it's no burn. Take 2 seconds. Join the family. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much. But without further ado, we have a lot to talk about. It's official. Nebraska has made a bowl game in Las Vegas, the Las Vegas Bowl in Las Vegas, Nevada, versus the 10-2 Utah Utes. So right off the bat, well, I want to set the stage on when this game is going to be. It's on New Year's Eve. It's going to be at a 2:30 Central kickoff on ESPN. And we know there's going to be a lot of eyeballs for this matchup. You know, I know a lot of people, they're going to have some, critiques about playing Las Vegas. They're going to have critiques against playing against Utah. But this is a very good bowl game. This is not the Pinstripe Bowl. This is not the Music City Bowl. This is one of the best bowl games a Big Ten team can make. This is the best bowl game Nebraska's made in well over a decade. Again, this is better than the Pinstripe Bowl we made last year. This is better than the Music City Bowl that we made back in 2016. This is definitely better than the Foster Farms Bowl. So this is a heck of a bowl game. And you could argue a lot of things about Nebraska. You could argue we're not a very good football team. You could argue, again, we have a second string quarterback out there. We might have a third string quarterback out there for this game. I get all of that, but just know these bowl games won Nebraska badly. They wanted Nebraska badly for the fan base, for Matt Rule, for all the storylines, for the ratings. And really, they wouldn't have picked Nebraska if they didn't at least think we would be competitive in this ball game. We're going to be competitive. I truly believe that. Again, a lot can change in a month. We're going to have a month to prepare for this ball game against Utah. We already sent scouts down to Las Vegas early in the week because we knew this was the bowl game that we were going to. So talking about the pros and cons of Las Vegas. Let's start off with Las Vegas, okay, before we get to Utah, because I know that's the big storyline right now. Again, right off the bat, I mean, we've never played Las Vegas before, so I think that's pretty cool. We're playing in, I would argue, one of the best stadiums in the entire world when it comes to football. It's brand new Allegiant Stadium. That's where the Raiders play. It's an indoor stadium, which I'm not a huge fan of, but still, it's a really, really nice stadium. It's going to be cool for the fans to go over there and see that. We know it's a warm destination, which is huge for me because I like Nashville, but I didn't really want to go to Nashville to be in the cold, right? I don't think the fans wanted to be in the cold. I don't think the players want to be in the cold. Las Vegas, it's not like 80 degrees right now. It's only about 50, 60 degrees, but still, it's a lot warmer than Nashville is. So it's a warm destination. We're playing against a great opponent. I wanted to play a great opponent because, yes, is this opponent, are we likely going to lose this bowl game? Probably, but I just want to play a great opponent because that's going to set us up for a huge 2026. That's going to get these guys experience, these younger guys reps. Okay, it's bigger to just play these type of teams rather than play, a garbage MAC team or a garbage Big 12 team and get the victory, right? I'd rather play a tough ball game in which we lose because that's going to benefit us more in the long term. And then it's on New Year's Eve. It's the last bowl game before the College Football Playoff kicks off later that night for the semifinals. For the quarterfinals. So I think it's a really good bowl game for that aspect. As for the cons, I don't love it being in Las Vegas. Again, it's warm, but I just don't really like Las Vegas. I'm not going to lie. I don't like that city too much. And again, we play a very tough opponent. Again, I like playing a tough opponent because, again, it's going to make this team better. But unfortunately, that might come with getting boat race on national television. You never know. But again, beggars can't be choosers. We're beggars right now. Again, we ended the season very poorly. We lost, 3 of our last 4. Again, we lost to USC. We barely beat UCLA. We lost badly to Penn State. We lost badly to Iowa. We're lucky we didn't make a worse bowl game. We're lucky we didn't make Nashville. We're lucky our fan base is so good. If we had a bad fan base, we would make a garbage bowl game. We really would. But again, that's shout to the fan base for getting that done and getting us to Las Vegas because, again, this is a really good bowl game with a lot of eyes there. So let's talk about our opponent because that's the big conversation right now. Not really where we're playing, not really the stadium, not really the time, but what do we do with the 10-2 number 15 ranked Utah Utes, who we will be playing in this bowl game. Now, right off the bat, set the stage for you. They've only lost 2 ball games all year to Texas Tech and BYU. Both were close ball games. And by the way, both of those teams are playing right now in the Big 12 championship. So again, the only 2 games they lost were to really good teams. Every other team they played this year, they beat them, and they beat them badly. And you can go down the list. They blew out UCLA. They blew out Cal Poly. They blew out Wyoming. They blew out West Virginia. They blew out Arizona State. They blew out Colorado. They blew out Cincinnati, who Nebraska barely beat. They blew out Baylor. They did not blow out Kansas State, but there were some issues in that ball game. And then they beat Kansas by 10. So they're kind of on a downward slide a little bit, but still, this is, a very, very impressive resume. And there were a lot of people who are clamoring for Utah to make the playoffs with this resume. So obviously, one of the best Utah teams that we've seen in a very long time. So that's number one. They have a great fan base. So that's really, I mean, I'll start off with the pros around Utah. The pros, why people should be excited about this matchup. I mean, number one, they have a great fan base. Okay, that's something that I think is huge. Like when we played Boston College last year, that was a lame bowl game because Boston College didn't bring anybody. They don't really have fans. Okay, part of the fun about bowl games is going up against a really good fan base who's going to bring a lot of fans. We can banter and we can have fun and we can tailgate with those fans. So Utah, they're absolutely going to check that box. So they have a great fan base. Like I think it's two big-time storied schools. And a lot of attention around this bowl game. A lot of people are going to want to watch Utah, especially because they just got snubbed from the college football playoffs. A lot of people are going to see if they're legit and they should have made the playoffs in returns. I mean, those are the pros, but as for the cons, I mean, it is a very tough matchup. You play bowl games because you want to win the bowl game. Okay, you don't play bowl games just for experience. You want to go out there and end the season on a high note. This is about as tough of a matchup as we could have objectively gotten, okay? And we would have always got a tough matchup. Like LSU would have been a tough matchup. We played in the Nashville Bowl. Vandy would have been a very tough matchup. I think Missouri, there were some rumors around Missouri. I would have loved to play Missouri. I think we would have beat Missouri. But Utah? Yeah, Utah's about as tough as it gets. All right, let's start off with what they do well. I mean, number one, they have a dual threat quarterback in Deviant Dampier, who's a complete stud, transferred in this past offseason. Again, he's a dual threat quarterback, ran for over 600 yards this year, 7 touchdowns with his legs. He can get outside the pocket. Nebraska, we've struggled against dual threat quarterbacks all year long. I would consider him a future first-round pick after next year. I think, again, I'm very high on Devin Dampier. I actually was really interested in him when he entered the portal originally. I would have wanted him at Nebraska if it weren't for us bringing back Dylan. But they got Devin Dampier, who's really, really good. They got Wayshawn Parker, who's one of the best running backs in America. Very, very speedy. Can also lay the boom on you. Ran for about 1,000 yards this year. 7 yards to carry, which is unbelievable. Also 6 touchdowns. So they have a strong running attack, not only with their quarterback and their running back. And they also, again, have a backup quarterback who's also very mobile. They try to get involved. They have a couple other guys there like Naquan Rogers, like Daniel Bray. So they got a very, very talented running back core. They also got some nice players on the wide receiver core. They have a really, really good offensive line. I mean, that's the thing about Utah. Quietly, they always have one of the best offensive lines in college football. I remember we were going after this big-time recruit a couple months ago by the name of Kelvin Oba, who's a 5-star, and was pretty much down in Nebraska and Utah, and he committed to Utah because they have a better track record of development. Like, their offensive line is unbelievable. They will be one of the best offensive lines we play all year, if not the best. And they have one guy who's going to be a first-round pick. He might not play in the bowl game, but again, they have a great offensive line. They have a stud defense, right? They can take the ball away to high level. They have a great defensive line, great secondary. They constantly produce NFLers all over there. So, again, it's a very tough matchup. And also, it should be noted that their head coach, Kyle Whittingham, there are a lot of rumors right now that this will be his final ever game as the Utah Utes head coach, that he's going to retire after this one. So you better believe those Utah fans, they're going to be showing up in droves. This is not too far away from Utah. Okay, this is not too far away. There's going to be a lot of Utah fans there. It's going to be, I would even argue there might be more Utah fans there than Nebraska fans, which is crazy. But again, Utah's a great fan base, and they're going to go out there and support their guy. So if Kyle Whittingham, if this is in fact his last game, not only is there going to be a lot of Utah fans there, those guys are going to be going absolutely nuts to try to avenge him and try to get a win to send him out. So, and again, they're not really going to have too many opt-outs, too. Like, again, they might have their best offensive lineman, who's their left tackle, that he might opt out because he's going to be a first-round pick. But Devin Dampier, he's not going to opt out. He's coming back next year. Wayshawn Parker, he's not going to opt out. He's coming back next year, right? Their best players, really, for the most part, are not going to opt out. Like, Boston College even had some opt-outs last year. I don't think really anybody's going to opt out for Utah. And that's a team with a very strong culture who, once again, they want to avenge their coach, who's likely done for this game. So, in Nebraska, it should be noted, we're going to have some opt-outs too. Like, Emmett probably won't play. We'll see what happens there. TJ might not play. We might have Marcus Davila go strap up here, starting quarterback. We'll talk about that later in the week. So, listen, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but people will say, are we screwed, Wilson? We might be. We might be. This is about as tough of a matchup as we possibly could have got. But you know what? I hope the team rallies around this. I hope they get ready. And you know what? Anything can happen in bowl games. Bowl games are so unpredictable. Like, because you have a month to prepare. So there will be teams who show up and they play the best football they've played all year in a bowl game. Or there will be teams who, because of opt-outs, because of transfers, because of some culture issues, there will be teams who play lights out all year long. They'll show up to a bowl game and they'll fall flat. So I will say this, the only silver lining for you guys and for me is anything can happen in a bowl game. And this does not mean Nebraska's automatically screwed. And honestly, I think we'll play them close. I do. I think we'll play them close. It's going to be an indoor stadium. We're not playing with the elements. The game where TJ Lateef played his best was, again, in a warm environment in UCLA, right? An environment he's familiar with. So I think he's going to be fine without all the cold, without all the wind, assuming TJ plays. If TJ doesn't play, Yeah, that's another caveat, but you'll see, man. But I hope these guys play with a chip on their shoulder. We end the season out with a victory, but it's going to be a very, very tough matchup. And again, we'll talk about it extensively over these next couple of weeks. So, all right, guys, let me know your thoughts down below. Hey, if you made this far, do hit that like button and subscribe. As always, folks, go ahead and go, Matt Roll, and I'll see you in the next one.